it's Zach, and welcome to the final bonus episode 5 of Let's Play Chrono. This is the last one. I've managed to fit all the endings into a comfortable time frame for you guys. Obviously, here's the first one. I'm just going to go over these. So the first one, here's the bad ending. It's one of the two endings that you can have on your first playthrough. You just fight, and kill the Time Devourer, and it's just the credits. The second ending is the good ending, where, and we saw that in the original Let's Play, because that's where you use the Chrono Cross, right? So these are the first two, the two endings that you can get on your very first playthrough. Obviously, the other endings have to be done on New Game Plus, as I explained, as I think I mentioned earlier. I can't remember if it was actually included in episode 1 of the bonus videos or not anymore, because, well, I did a lot of editing on all these things for the past, few days here, so, but, yes, here's the good ending, where you save Princess Shala, and she goes on to live a happy life, and marry Serge, or Kid does, or whatever. Anyway, so, yeah. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be discussing how you get the rest of these endings as they pop up, and I've sped up all this footage so you can see it. Yeah, here's the developer ending. This is by far probably the longest ending. The raw footage alone on this one was like 20 minutes, so I sped it up by 1,000%. You get this ending on New Game Plus as the first thing that you do after waking up from the premonition. And if you recall correctly from episode 1 of the bonus videos, I equipped the green plate to Surge. Well, now I'm going to explain why I did that, because the Time Devourer mostly uses green elements, so having the green plate on actually healed Surge a lot of the time, because since it's just Surge fighting the Time Devourer, it's actually a little bit more difficult than it is on other ones. And I actually did fail at trying to get this ending a couple of times, 2 or 3 times, trying to get this ending before I finally got it. It was pretty difficult, but I eventually got it. So the developer ending is nice because the Viper Manor is just full of a bunch of the in-game characters representing the various developers, and each of them has lines and lines of dialogue of what they did, what their personal job was. There was somebody in charge of programming, there was somebody in charge of specific battle animations. There was even one, it was a little earlier on, where you could cycle through different characters. Here is somebody talking about the battle animations and specific characters calling for help and stuff like that. But early on there was a character that you could cycle through the various characters because they developed I don't know if it was an engine or something, but basically it was an accent system. So they could write one line of dialogue, and then this system would take over and auto-change it or auto-correct it to fit the various accents of the different characters. So it actually saved on game space, and it made an English translation possible for this game, because otherwise there would be just too many lines of dialogue and it just would have been crazy to do by hand. So this is the one that you first get after waking up from the premonition. This next one is General Kid, and this happens after you cross the dimensions for the first time, but before you go to Viper Manor. As you can see, Surge is living a happy life. He's back in Arnie Village. He's probably selling out with Lena, and you see Kid in the background going hey man, Surge, we're gonna head off to the Viper Manor? And then she's disappointed and says, see ya, Surge. And then Surge is wait, what? Huh? Did I hear something? And then they're no, we didn't hear anything. Maybe you're just tired. Okay, Surge, you gotta go get stuff. And then, of course, they're embarrassing Lena because, it's a girlfriend and stuff. So then what is Kid up to, really? Well, Kid breaks into Viper Manor all by herself, takes down Lynx here. You don't even see it. She just takes him down. It's actually kind of hilarious. And then takes the dragon tier that she thought was the first flame, and now she leads the Dragoons, and they're all following her command, which is actually kind of cool. And I was wow, that's awesome. And then, of course, it's oh, the poor army's on the way, and everybody scrambles, and then Kid's just hey, I'm in charge. We have that frozen flame, so yeah, she still thinks it's a frozen flame. And it actually is just a really cool thing. So the way she just lands on that guy is actually kind of hilarious. Led by General Kidd, went on to conquer neighboring countries with ease, and the sovereign nation, the Aeseid Empire, and sitting right next to General Kidd was Frozen Flame. So, all right, a true hero ending. So the true hero is the form ending. So you let's see, when you get this one, I'm trying to think. I can't remember which one this where this one comes in. It's after Viper Manor. I think it's while Kidd is poisoned. You can get this ending because there's a few variants to this one. Yeah, that's right. So this is what happens while Kidd is poisoned. This particular one. Okay, so Surge is working at the Element Shop, and you can see there's funny lines of dialogue. Kidd is finally, is healed and stuff, and then you find out here that, let's see. Yes, there it is, right there, that line. Norris was the one that saved Kidd all those years ago. I mean, not all those years, but saved Kidd. So when you remember, if you chose not to do the Save Kidd side quest, you went off and you did other things, and then when you got back to town, you found out that some mysterious person came by and healed Kidd. That's who healed Kidd. That's the answer. It was Norris that came by, healed Kidd, and now she's with him and allegiance to him and the poor military. Meanwhile, of course, you have Pierre and the Salt Brothers going on to take on Lynx here at Fort Dragonia. And of course, Pierre is such a coward that he doesn't want to do any of this. And so they try for rock, paper, scissors, and then of course he wins, and then he fakes having pain or stomach ache, and then gets right back up. It's actually kind of hilarious. Oh man. And then of course the three were never heard from again, so Lynx probably killed them. But yeah. Okay, here's the alternate one, and this has a variant on it. So it's pretty much the same as before, except you do this after you save Kidd. And I've already shown you that side quest in a previous bonus episode. But much of the dialogue is pretty much the same. However, it will come up eventually. Excuse me. Lena. Okay. Why does it have to turn out like this? Yeah. There's Kidd. So instead of Kidd being healed or saved by Norris, you save her. It doesn't matter really if you save her or don't save her. What matters is what happens next in the story. There's various story beats that will trigger these different endings. So defeating the Time Devourer while Kidd is poisoned brought the fifth ending about, but defeating the Time Devourer after Kidd is either saved by you or saved by Norris will bring about this ending. And like I said, much of it is the same. And then again, we have the variants of that very same one, and it's still the same thing. The only difference was something that I kind of talked about a little bit, or I hinted at when I showed you episode 4, the bonus episode 4, where you were where you went to go back to talk to Korcha. So Lena's about to leave, and then Kidd walks in, and they go through the whole usual thing, the same lines of dialogue, not any different. And then okay, then Korcha shows up, because, Korcha was like, hey, we're gonna get married, and then he starts talking about this, then realizing the Kidd has left already. How about we go home and raise a family? And then it's like Matcha, and it's like, wait a minute, Matcha, what are you doing here? And then it's just whatever, Ma. It's actually kind of hilarious. That's the only difference, and that only happens when you talk to Korcha. So if you defeat the Time Devourer before talking to Korcha, before Korcha has the chance to propose, you get a True Healer alternate 6A, like that version. But if you defeat the Time Devourer after getting Korcha's boat, and he had the chance to propose to Kid, then you get this one. So that's the difference. That's a variant, but it's the only variant that exists amongst all 12 endings. Okay, Magical Dreamers. So this was one that I think I kind of talked about, unless I cut it out of episode 3 of the bonus parts. But it looks kind of the same, except you see Surge is not there. Yeah, so this is the one where you need to recruit Nikki and Razali into your party. They don't have to be physically present in the party, they just have to be recruited. And by defeating the Time Devourer after doing that, but before you continue the major beats of the story. Such as, going to like Fort Dragonia and stuff like that. You get this called Magical Dreamers. And basically what happens is it's just Nikki's show, but, not to save Marbiel or anything, but it's Nikki's show, but like Surge is present, Kid's on vocals, so Surge is on drums, and then the mascot Razali. And so Surge, Kid, and Razali are all part of the show, and it's awesome, and yeah, so I'm just gonna let this one speak for itself, but it's actually really, really freaking cool. Oh, and of course, then you have Lynx going like, hey, man, where are those guys? Okay, New Beginnings. So the New Beginnings ending occurs, if you defeat the Time Devourer, but after you receive Lynx's body. So basically what happens is you get Lynx's body, you get out of the Temporal Vortex, but before you go and do anything with the Dead Sea, go face the Time Devourer. And beat him, and then you get the New Beginnings ending, where, of course, as you can see, Lynx and Harl are living together here in Marbiel. Everybody knows them. They're all happy that they're there. Like, as Lynx is a powerful influence over everybody there or whatever. And, of course, the sage is like, hey, good morning, guys, and wants to talk to them. And basically, it's all it's leading to is Lynx becoming the next leader of Marbiel and the demi-humans that are there. Because the sage is getting up there in years, apparently, and he's, he just wants to, make sure that the demi-humans have a leader, I guess, after he goes away. But he's like, yeah, you don't have to answer right away, but, good day, but people need a leader, so, yeah. And then, of course, Harl's just, I forgot what she's trying to do. Oh, you know what? She's probably like thinking like, hey, you're not Surge anymore. You're Lynx. You need to do this, But then she's like, don't worry, I'll be by your side. If you're, to lead. And then she actually calls you Surge, which was awesome. Meanwhile, Radius, Fargo, and Zappa are heading off to confront Dark Surge or Lynx, as it's Lynx inside Surge's body. Here at the Pearly Gates, because they can't allow him to continue with his evil deeds, and they're just tired of him. Of course, then there's Kid, who's still brainwashed or whatever, and serving by Lynx's side, although she doesn't know it. So yeah. All right, Onward Dragoons. This one can be had if you defeat the Time Devourer after rescuing Riddle. So you go through the Dead Sea and all that stuff. The dimensional distortion gets restored. You go back to another world. You rescue Riddle and Viper Manor from the Pore military. And then you go off and you defeat the Time Devourer. It has to be done right after rescuing Riddle. You can't do anything else. Immediately after you rescue Riddle, go face the Time Devourer. And then, of course, by doing this, you get the Onward Dragoons, and basically all that's really happening in this one is they're all assembled in Viper Manor, and Viper decrees that they will depart to fight Lynx's army across the land. And of course, then they take the battle to SS Invincible, as you saw, and the Dragoons eventually corner Lynx, who taunts them. And of course, then it cuts to Lynx and Harl living a life of, peace and whatnot. Okay, the Darken Fate. So this one is again after Harl leaves the party. So once Harl leaves the party, once you get to the pearly gates and stuff, go face the Time Devourer. It's not as time sensitive as the Riddle one was, but I mean time sensitive in a way that you couldn't go to Hermit's Hideaway to check on General Viper. Afterwards, you had to go face the Time Devourer before doing that. Anyway, so Harl leaves the party, and of course, then as you see, Lynx and Kid are, they enter Chronopolis, and then Harl's there. Lynx is gonna get his hands on, the Frozen Flame and whatnot, and then we cut to this old guy who's back in Arnie Village, and he's like, I'm gonna go check the Record of Fate. And then, what? Holy cow! Oh, this cannot be hell! Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, what's going on? And then the Record of Fate, obviously, as you saw, turned black, and they're like, this is a bad omen, because it's not supposed to be black. That means fate has, been taken over, or fallen, or whatnot. And then, of course, we cut back to Lynx, and he's, yes! This war finally over. Now the Frozen Flame is in my hands. I shall become fate. So, okay. The next one, a career change. So this one is fun after you fought Dario. So you had to fight Dario, get the Master Mune. But you have to do this before Terror Tower rises. So you have to fight Dario. Don't go to Chronopolis yet. And instead go face the Time Devourer, and you'll get this one. This is actually kind of a funny ending, because as you can see, Viper Manor is now basically an orphanage, and General Viper is just kind of in charge, but the rest of the guys, here are happily taking care of these kids and the youth, and they're all talking about they have to keep this a secret from Riddle though, and it's like, Riddle's right there, and then what about the operating cost? No need to worry, I have no idea. Oh, you mean we must keep it a secret from Riddle, though. And it's like, what are you so amusing? It's just, are you of course, it could be they have been losing money by doing all these special things for these kids and stuff. But anyway, so yeah, then Lynx and Kid, they arrive, and it's like, okay, excellent. Oh, and of course Harl's with them. It's like, yes, time to wreak some havoc. But then they're like, guys, we've been walking around for a while. Let's get some. Well, let's find some rest somewhere, And it's like, okay, well, how about we go to this bar over here? We'll get something to drink. We'll take a break and whatnot. And so, it's actually an interesting. It's kind of it's like I said, it's a funny ending. It's just kind of interesting in that Kid and Harl are just kind of tired and they want to take a load off, and then Lynx is just like, oh, fine. And, a nice cold beer, please. And then, no, you're underage, Serge. You might be Lynx, but your body's only 17. Do you have any non-alcoholic beverages? It's all rather funny. The cream and whatnot. And of course, so they're going to be doing Galaxy Nights. I guess it's maybe some sort of soft drink or something. And of course, damn it, I don't remember her name. Oh no, I was hoping to get through this by getting everybody's names. Oh, Marcy, there we go. Yeah. So then Marcy is just kind of bribing Serge, or come on, you want to give me one, and it's like, why are there two Starkies? What the hell? Why are there two Starkies? It's actually kind of interesting. So I know I've been talking a lot, and that I'm just kind of breezing through a lot of this stuff. So I'm just gonna let you guys enjoy that. Enjoy the cheers. I'm gonna chime back in a second. Well, have you got what you can go? The creatures on the planet. No, unique substance can be detected. We must contact the mothership and begin, whatever. And then to make a... Yeah, and the locals of the planets. We wait too late. Wait until then. Understood. We have all the time in the world. So yeah, so Starkey's race is apparently come to Earth, and nobody's the wiser, of course. But they've determined that our planet is just ripe for the picking. Like, there's nobody here that can oppose them. So they're like, okay, we're gonna take it over now, or destroy it, or something. It went by too fast, so I couldn't exactly tell. Anyway, but yeah, so Surge has to pay, or Lynx has to pay, and it's like, wait a minute, no, this can't be right. This is not, it can't be this much. And they're like, nope. And then I just find this hilarious because, of course, Surge or Lynx can't pay this, so he has to go see this guy, or see Zoa. And it's like, a ripoff drawing, I don't believe this. And he's gonna teach him a lesson as he starts beating Lynx in the back room. And it's just so funny. And of course, then Karsh and Marcy are just talking about it. It's awesome. Alright, the last ending. Return of the Downtrodden. This one, you can get while Terra Tower is still in the sky. So you do this, you go to Chronopolis, you beat all that, Terra Tower rises, then you can go face a Time Devourer, and you get this ending. This was the ending, by the way, that got recorded after I did the Z-Slash with Surge, Kid, and Slash at the end of episode 1. I just figured, why not do it there, end off the episode, and then cut to this recording, or this ending. So, of course, the Dragon God now is commanding the dwarfs, all the demi-humans. They look up to him, he's like their god. And he's like, okay, the humans, we, need to get rid of them. So much bloodshed. And, the dwarf captain is just like, oh, yeah, let's do this. And then the sage, though, is just, like, having second thoughts. Like, are we doing the right thing? Like, murdering all these humans, exterminating them out of the archipelago. Humans, let this be a lesson to you, But the Dragon God believes that the demi-humans, will respect the planet more than the humans did. And then, of course, then it happens, and it's just like, how many years has it been since, since it all happened? And Harl just, just sad, looking around. There's all these demi-humans now, because the humans have been killed, and, this is the world of, and, of course, everybody else is, like, kind of happy, or they're, like, excited, or they just remember the look on those faces when people were dying or fleeing or whatnot, and it's, and they're like, oh, we can't use utensils from humans, disgusting. It's like, it's a very, very interesting commentary on racism. And of course, then, you had the utensils that were fresh, and anybody can use them, and Harl's just all sad because I guess she really liked humans, maybe. I'm not sure what qualifies her as a demi-human aside from being the 7th dragon. Maybe that's it. But anyway, yeah, she picks a flower and, just mourns basically the death of humanity, and probably Surge even. I don't know if it's necessarily Surge, but she of course goes off to that grave, as you saw, and yeah. So, that's all the endings, guys. I want to thank you all so much for watching this. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. This marks the end of Let's Play Chrono Cross. Thank you.